Welcome back. Magic portal opens up between Dublin and New York. Woohoo! I've got my conspiracies about this thing. Americans love saying that they're Irish. Have you ever spoke to these guys? Oh, I'm Irish. Oh yeah, where were you born? Oh no, my great granddad. Hi, Chris O'Connor. You might have a funny second name, buddy, but you're not Irish. I think the government have funded this social experiment to show the population the gravity of their claims. New Yorkers will be looking through this thing, thinking it's a portal to the Neolithic period. Right? Dublin, have you ever been? It's a shithole. That's what I'm getting at, guys. You know, it's the same disdain the kids will have on their face. That look when you tell an 8-year-old that we've got more in common with a banana, DNA wise. Hey, guys in New York, you don't want to be showing people in a third world country what it's like in a top division. It's not inspiring them. All these Irish guys walking around drunk, right? It's breeding a lot of resentment, I think. But it's like these twin toilets that I've spoke about before. I think it's what hippies do and middle class people do to feel like they are, helping when they're not. Well, basically, you sponsor a toilet, they put a photo of it in your toilet, and they get a photo of your toilet, right? And they're not doing it in Dublin and New York. This is a sort of project that is happening in Tanzania. If I'm having a shit in Tanzania, right, and I have to stare at some glitter shitter in London, I'm not thinking about a degree, yeah? I'm not thinking about running water. I'm thinking about jihad, right? Well, it's kind of like the opposite of the boy in striped pajamas, right? Some Jew in Williamsburg must be thinking, Mom, why do they all wear the same clothes in Dublin? And, and, and why don't they shower? And she's like, oh, my little boy, don't worry. And the next day he brings some books and some sandwiches, and he tries to push them through the LCD screen. It's already come to an end, this thing, after 8 days, ladies and gentlemen. Dublin, New York portal users ruining fun for everyone. Now, that sentence there, ruining fun for everyone, is something that when you hear as a kid, you're meant to be upset, all right, that no one can stay up late to watch the movie because you shit all over the floor. But kind of, when you hear that, if you're the naughty one, kind of makes you feel a little bit happy that you've ruined the fun for everyone, right? Because if I'm the kid that held up the video in 9/11, I'm thinking job well done. I'm thinking fuck your little teleportation device, fuck your little LCD screen. All right, you don't come to Dublin and not get slapped, yeah? Yeah, you come to Dublin, you're gonna get stoned by the bee, yeah? I'm surprised there isn't any videos of just Dublin kids shadowboxing. Shadowboxing into it. Yeah, oh, you want some, yeah? Oi! But like all good things, it's been ruined by 9/11. It was the only next logical step, wasn't it? For a teenager to show a picture of the World Trade Centers on fire. I probably would have done it. And I don't know how you stop people doing it, okay? It's like the dab. The dab epidemic. You couldn't stop that. You just had to let kids get freaky, right? So I think, right, next time it reopens, it should be no holds barred. Let's get sex shows on. Let's let kids dab, and let's let kids actually do terrorism in the portal. But I do think it is funny though, and I listen. If I ruled the world, I'd be saying, let's go. Let them do it. Let them do it. Let's see what the New Yorkers can bring back. The Irish are bantering them quite easy because there's a lot to go at. I mean, hey, an alien race lands in their city every 4 years and destroys it. An Iron Man has to come and save the day. So the material that the Dubliners are working with is vast. 9/11, that is, that's a big event. That's changed, altered the course of a lot of countries' histories. I'm a pre 9/11 baby. I remember it. I was 3 years old. And it did change everyone, no matter how old you were. All right? even if you're still in the womb, scientists would be able to cut you open and see the stress rings around your skin, like some 6,000-year-old oak tree from the Ice Age. It's the only tragedy that's super well known and acceptable to make jokes about. And that's credit to the Americans, that, because they are funny people. Their comedy's great. And they got those freedoms that none of us in any other country have. I mean, we can't even speak to each other without a license. That's bad, that, isn't it? And I don't know if a lot of Americans know how much 9/11 is taking the piss out of it, but you can get away with it pretty easy. It's not the sort of kill on sight order that you would expect if your parent got burnt alive. Summer is here, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? And as a black man, hey, look at this, guys. You can't remember this, can you? Well, I've been in your dreams. I've been playing about with your feet while you sleep. It's warm for about 3 weeks a year in this little place called England. And a little thing happens with all the whiteys. When it's warm enough for them to get their legs out and start strutting down the street, every time I see them, I have to look at them and I think, are you getting hit at home? Has someone pushed you down the stairs recently? What's going on with your legs? I mean, there's just so many bruises. It is sickening. And it's easily explained, right? They don't have a base coat like I do. I operate on a 24/7, 365 days a year base coat, okay? Okay, I'm constantly opening the microwave and the fridge and just glaring into it for hours on end. Trying to just get some beams. You want to come into summer already a little bit tanned. But it's got me thinking about summer in Britain. It's so fun because we operate, with cold weather, and then it's finally warm, and all hell breaks loose. And I've just been thinking about some of the institutions of a British summer, ladies and gentlemen. And one institution is the man with his top off in Co-op. Can be any supermarket, but a lot of them don't tolerate it. But Co-op, they don't mind if some drunk guy has had a few. He doesn't look too good. He's getting on everyone's nerves in the queue. Co-op's the right place to do that sort of thing. Walk around with your top off and your dick out. You do that shit in Waitrose, you wake up in China with a scar on your abdomen. Have you ever walked around and noticed that the people that work there, I swear Co-op only hire missing people. They've all forgotten how to smile in that place. They move like ventriloquist dolls, and I don't think they'd be missed, if I'm being honest, if you went in there and snatched one off the tills. Listen, as far as the law's concerned, they haven't officially been found yet. Schools in England will be banned from teaching sex education to children under 9. One parent in Branbury, Oxfordshire, told BBC Radio 5 Live her daughter in year 5 has been quite upset after being taught about the anatomy of her private parts. You need a wake-up call, because these people think the government, right? The government is looking out for them, right? They think the government, right, are having special meetings like, Jesus Christ, the kids, we need to protect them more. That some are going missing, some are not eating. The government had put your kids in a meat grinder for cheaper oil, lady. Another in Chestershire said her 5-year-old daughter had come out of class confused about how babies are made, thinking she could get pregnant if she sat near a boy. Yikes. Most kids are fucking stupid. We all know that, all right? They're being taught about this, and they're still coming away from the class thinking they're going to have triplets with Billy just because she's helped her with her homework. What the fuck do they think is going to happen if they don't even, if there's not even whispers about penises and vaginas, right? Until you get into what? Secondary school, that's when you start learning about clunge. Her daughter in year 5 had been quite upset. Now, Can you imagine being so entitled that you think people give a shit that your kid's upset? The cheek of these parents is astounding, right? They put an iPad in front of their kid for 10 years, and the first time they don't smile, they ring up the news and bother everybody. Kids are stupid. I need to keep saying this, right? There's the amount of times I got the wrong end of the stick when I was a kid. I thought my penis had been operated on at some point. When I was in the bath, I was looking at it, and there was like a line going down it. I was like, okay. I got dried off, went downstairs to my dad. I was like, Dio, Dad, I'm freaking out. Can I get my dick out? And he was like, yeah, sure. Let me get a bib. I got it out and I was like, are you hiding something from me? Just tell me truthfully. Did I have an operation on my penis when I was a kid? And he was like, are you fucking stupid? What the fuck would we do that for? And I don't know, right? Don't scream at me, man. I'm just thinking out. You've given me a clitorectomy. All right? Why is this shit so small, bro? Have you taken an inch for yourself, buddy? Give it back. I still get my heart broken with realizations about my life, That's kind of what life is. Just a steady breakdown of the joys and delusions you imagine in your head. I remember crying when I found out I had to swallow spit for the rest of my life. And I'm being serious. I remember asking my mum, when you focus on your mouth and swallowing, you're like, Jesus, I'm actually producing a lot of saliva here. I've got to keep swallowing at least every minute. And I asked my mum, I was like, Mom, what's going on in my mouth here? I keep having to swallow. And she was like, yeah, you'll have to keep doing that, buddy. She might as well have just told me that I'd had a penis operation when I was a kid, because I burst out into tears and that was my day ruined. And that's kind of frightening, isn't it? That kids, you try and protect them. In everyone's mind, you just want to give them a pamphlet when they turn 18 and, kick them into a whorehouse and let them experiment. But that's not how it works. There's a lot of anxiety and shit around sex and sex education. So I think the longer we bring kids into the, educational forum, the best place is at school, ladies and gentlemen. And the earlier, the better. Let's start doing it in nursery, I say. But some people want that. Let's just, as crazy as these people are, the other side's just as crazy, right? You got one side wanting to read, the drag queen sex change anthology, to a bunch of fucking 4-year-olds. And you got the other side that doesn't even want to say the word sex without an arrest warrant being issued. So we're trying to cut down the middle here, ladies and gentlemen. The way we're heading, if we're just going to ban education, which the government would love if they didn't have to fork out to teach kids are going to learn everything off TikTok. Now, they're going to learn a lot of juicy facts that are going to go unchecked. We don't really do an educational class in school about things that you shouldn't eat and things that you shouldn't put in your body. But kids on TikTok, I mean, they see washing up liquid, they see cleaning products, and in their head they think, oh, this is a challenge. I'm going to be the first guy to eat fairy liquid and survive. All right? So that's what they're doing with common sense. There's not much common sense around sex, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a bad thing, education. As much as I fucking hate teachers, right? Kids are going to know more than the teacher come year 9 from TikTok, right? And it's not going to be the correct shit. They're going to have half the puzzle. They're going to be like, yeah, you take your pants off, you do foreplay, right? And then you strangle the bitch to death and have sex with her, right, miss? Okay, where have you heard that? Oh, that was on the Skibbity Sex Education channel on TikTok, miss. Kids are going to know more than the teacher. Okay, and with the way teaching is going, the kids might actually be holding the lectures instead of the teachers. And I've gone over a lot why I hate teachers, and I think they all should be put in a pit and buried. And they should be given less money. I do not think they deserve any more. I think they're on too much money to begin with, right? They're rubbing their hands together. We're reading this article, thinking, ooh, I get to do less work. Ooh. time off for me. And all the male teachers will be glad, you know. They've never had sex before. They don't even know what it is. They'll be like asking the kids like, oh, shit, so what'd you do again? What'd you do? Sir, you get your dick out, right? You rub it like quick as shit, right? And then you put it inside her. Right, okay. I don't see why you need to change the way things are. I understand that things change, though, and the world is ever evolving. Trannies, I don't think that's the proper word, by the way. I'm sorry, that slipped out. Transsexuals, we had one brought in. We had one. We had one of these things brought into school, right? It was called PSHE, where you learnt about, you know, gays and sex and shit like that. So he brought this lady in, and it was cool, you know. That was like more than 10 years ago, and we were grown up enough for it. I mean, I don't think anyone really cares. And when you're a kid, everybody cares about everything, and we didn't really give a shit about that. You know, she seemed pretty cool, and you know, maths is so boring. English is super gay, and then you get into PSHE and you get to put condoms on bananas, and everyone's always, oh, why can't you teach us about things we're going to use in the real world? All right, then you want to play that game? 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock, we're doing drug paraphernalia. 10 o'clock till 11. We're testing the drugs. Lunchtime, we're taking the drugs. Then we're going to have sex from 1 o'clock till home time. I think that's everything.